Hey guys, what's up? Decided to make a another little quick vlog, real quick. Cause I wanted to address something. Um, I had made a post on Facebook regarding some personal things that I've been going through in the past couple weeks. I didn't go into detail. I was just basically stating that shit's been rough. I'll be fine, but I'm just like saying, but I'm just like putting out there that, I'm not doing too good right now. I mean, I'm doing better, obviously, now. There's been some decisions I had to make that were exactly kind of hard, but in the end, it'll work out for everybody, and yeah. But in the comments, a gentleman mentioned, well, why don't you just move back to California? Now, number one, I wasn't stating that I was unhappy with my living situation, so that was an assumption. But I'll be real with you. And basically, my reply to that is fuck that. Now, excuse the makeup and everything, by the way. I was just doing like a little video shoot, a little photo shoot. Because I just felt like it tonight. I haven't done it in a while. I have I've mentioned before in other videos, and I've told people this. At this point, I have no plans or intentions or even desire to move back to California. I have some friends there. I have a few close friends there, that I care about and I miss. And there are certain aspects of living in Los Angeles that I do miss. I do miss the ocean. I miss hanging out in Hollywood sometimes, There's places I used to go to that had some bomb-ass food that I miss, There are places that were just fun to hang out with I miss. But none of that is enough to make me basically throw everything away that I've built over the past 6 years. So, since before I got out here, I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I was actually saving a lot of this for a future episode of Mr. Black's True Hollywood Tales, which I need to do some more episodes of because I have a lot of stuff. I just haven't really had the time to do it. There's the last few years that me and my spouse were living out there. Shit just got rough. The work was getting ridiculously craptacular. I was like, Harbor Freight cut my hours and were still giving me shitty pay, and it was just run by shitty people. It was just awful. I had my own business. But the problem with having your own business is people don't want to pay you your worth. I'm sure a lot of like artists that do consignments and people who do a lot of building websites, stuff like that, etc. Just basically anyone who has a business, you run into people that just like have this "why should I pay you" attitude, or I don't think you're worth that much. I'm just going to give you what I feel like giving you, sort of thing. So I had to deal with that a lot. So work wasn't consistent with my business. So we were struggling to pay rent. A lot of times we didn't pay rent. Sometimes it was like a choice between either paying rent or eating and at least doing the laundry, or getting the car fixed because I needed the car for work and for transportation for us and everything. And it was hard, and it was, interesting thing, notice we were expected to pay, it was like between $600 to $800 in rent for a small room. By the time we got, kicked out of there. And I'm in a position right now where we're now homeowners, and I have that much. I have that money, no problem. But my living expenses, that includes my rent, bills, all the bills basically, not just like a couple, but pretty much all of them. So it's a huge difference. We ended up living in the car for a while until I sent my spouse back out here, and I told him I was saying I would be out here as soon as I could, and we're trying to work out plans for that. And that was rough, and it was a very traumatizing time, So I'm sure the guy who made the original comment, and maybe he's watching this, or maybe he's like referred to me, the back and forth we had on the post, was like, could you please stop that? Every time I film, I swear to fuck, every time I film, y'all gotta stop trying to eat my stand. God. Anyway. This is not all about you, ma'am. But I'm sure, let's say a cliche thing like, oh, were you triggered? And while that's a really douchebaggy thing to say, the fact of the matter is, the reality of it is, yes, actually, I am. That was a very traumatizing time. For a while that I was at a very low fucking point before I finally got out of there. My spouse was already out here. Things felt like they were getting worse, and it felt like I wasn't going to get out of it. I felt like I was going to fucking die there. I was like, I'm not going to make it out of here. I'm going to die before I can get out of this fucking goddamn state. I was losing my mind. It got to that point where I had like such a bad breakdown. Because I just scraped up enough for a hotel room for the night, and it was fucking pouring raining. And I just had a breakdown, and I was actually planning on killing myself that night. I was actually, in my head, I actually had a detailed idea of what I would be doing, of how I would do it. And yeah, that's not something I want to go back to, Once I finally got there and I got back out here, things haven't been easy. There's still a lot of things that's happened over the past few years, but I haven't had problems with keeping steady work. I've had 2 jobs since I've been back. In the 6 years I've been back, I've had 2 jobs. And the last job, when I worked at Lowe's, if things got bad enough I had to, I could go back there. That's just how that work, but I am not in a hurry to do that. Would you please leave that door alone? Every time I film, they have to be extra. But like I said, I mean, now I have a job. I get decent pay. Actually, a little bit more than decent pay. Pretty good pay, actually. You know, and in actual hours, it's a normal fucking job. It's not some shit retail job, you know. I've been there almost 2 years. It's worked out great, you know. Like I said, you know, our living costs aren't nothing like it was in LA, and we can actually afford things now, you know. Music-wise, like I said, I have, you know, 2 projects that are doing great, you know. I have a following for both now, you know. I'm in an area where, for the most part, people do give a shit about music more. Stop. Half this video is me yelling at my cats. You know? I've got to a point, we've worked pretty hard to get to the point where we're at right now. You know, I mean, we're homeowners. I mean, this wasn't the ideal way to get this. It wasn't how we wanted to be homeowners, but here we are. But the point is that we are, you know, and we've worked hard to get to a certain point in our lives where we're actually not doing bad. I don't, like I said, as much as like there are certain things I do miss about living in Los Angeles. I am not willing to throw everything we've worked on so hard, just throw that away, just to go back to end up pretty much being in the same position I was when I left 6 years ago. Because job prospects were shit when I was there last time. I can only imagine how they'd be now if I went back to LA right now. I wouldn't have the type of job I have. I wouldn't be able to find a job where I'm getting paid what I'm getting paid now. I mean, to be real with you, compared to when I was working at Harbor Freight, with the job I have now, I'm making almost $10 more than I was working there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to find anything like that, you know. Venues and shit are so screwy in LA now, I wouldn't be able, gigs would be a lot harder. I mean, my God. The last show for my band, it's like the band that I had there was a good band, and the last show we played there, because I wanted to make it extra special, and the only place that we could get a gig at was at this fucking place, up in Universal Bar and Grill. It is a dive bar that has bands play there, and it's a shit bar. A lot of people that hang out there are shit, you know. It's like, you know, just a typical Valley crowd. Maybe you get a couple tourists in there coming up from just hanging out in Universal Studios or whatever, you know. Some guys from washed up San Fernando Valley bands hanging out there being fucking bitter. Remember one time we played there, somebody like threw a beer bottle. Some drunk idiot, you know. And this night was not an exception, you know. And while it was fun and bittersweet playing the last show, it was also, I think the venue would have been different. Things would have been different if it was a different venue, because that sucked. Honestly, we deserved our last show deserved to be better than that, and that was the best, I could get us. And that was then. Now I think it would be damn near impossible to get a gig anywhere decent. I probably even couldn't even get back in there again, which I don't even know if that there's going to still be doing bands, nor do I care. But basically, yeah, I'm not willing to throw away everything that we worked for to move back to California. So no, the answer to that question is fuck no. Kiss my ass. I'm not moving back to California. I may visit someday when I can afford it and I'm able to and have the time. But no. I'm pretty much making Indianapolis. I've made Indianapolis my home. I'm establishing a takeover. So I'm making this work. This is my town now. If you don't like me here, fuck it, you leave. Don't tell me to leave and go back to California. Fuck you. I thought I left people with that mentality back in Los Angeles, but apparently there's a few people like that here too. So I guess you just can't escape it. Anyway, thanks. I just wanted to whine. Well, not necessarily whine, but just bitch for a while, because that really got under my skin. And like I said, yes, it was triggering, but yeah, I'm here. And to the people that love to see me fail back in California, guess what? I'm still alive. I'm still kicking ass. So fuck y'all too. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys with another video soon. Bye.